Hello everybody and welcome back to my No Buy Year. In today's video, I'm bringing you the third installment to I literally Kant Even. In my first two videos exploring this philosophical subject, I talked about how influencers use their audience as a means to an end if they engage in practices like not disclosing sponsorships or even pursuing too many sponsorship opportunities to the detriment of the people they interact with, their viewers and their community. In the second installment, I then extended this to include brands and companies using influencers as a means to an end, right? To sell their products without necessarily considering the benefit to the influencers. In this third installment, I'm going to extend this even further, perhaps beyond the capsule of influencer culture, to the idea that if we are in constant pursuit of something new, something more, something to do, something productive, something to be, a way to behave, if we're constantly pursuing something that we're currently not, we could in some ways be using ourselves as a means to an end. Now, this video was inspired by this video from another creator that recently came across my feed, and he was talking about how productivity culture and the idea that we always had to be producing something was us using ourselves as a means to an end. And he basically summarizes this idea in relations to the concept of always having to be doing something or striving for something in a very easy to understand way. So you can go ahead and check that out now or save it for the end to get perhaps the more organized explanation of my discussion here. But I guess all of this kind of stems from my discomfort with influencer culture and being online in general, the online landscape, I guess, as a whole, and how it can make people behave in certain ways that aren't otherwise condonable in real life, and it can make people feel certain ways that they wouldn't otherwise feel had they not been consuming this online media. Apologies for my voice, I've got fall allergies right now. So to expand on some of those examples, I once received a comment about how in games like Monopoly, there's a set of rules that dictate how people behave when they play this game. And they would never behave in this way in real life. Hopefully, or some people would not, right? Some people would view the conquests of Monopoly to be not morally just, not morally sound. We wouldn't be striving to be the real estate tycoon and take advantage of other people, and when people couldn't pay, we just kick them out of the game and all of that kind of stuff. So I think this extends to real life and online society. In the rules of online society, or influencer culture, both as an influencer and as a consumer of this content, I think there are rules that seem to apply online that do not apply in real life. Whether it's something as simple as people being a troll in the comments and saying things they would never say to somebody's face, or an influencer accepting sponsorship opportunities to do sales pitches that they would never do in real life. It's almost as if you hired somebody to spin the sign for Subway or whatever it is, and this was a form of influencing that is not as appealing as doing something similar in the comfort of your own home and the creativity of your own video content. The point is, there are many online behaviors that are viewed as normal online that do not translate to real life. And by extension, I think consumers of this content observe these online behaviors, whether it's these direct actions within the online community, like influencing, so communicating about products to your audience, or whether it's about the environments that we observe as consumers of this content, seeing people's wardrobes, seeing people's makeup collections, when these people use these as tools to make content and therefore justify their consumerism because it's their job that they've kind of consumed their way into, in a way. I'm not setting this up in the clearest way, but I guess what I'm saying is that as a consumer of this content, we see all of these things that make us feel a certain way, that make us think we have to do certain things. And sometimes the rules of this online environment translate to everyday life as far as our feelings, but they don't translate as far as what is reality or what could be reality. So by seeing the makeup collection with the drawers and the organizers and all this, we might strive to have something similar, where in real life that is totally not practical or necessary. Where in our real life application of makeup and beauty products, such a thing would be impractical and unnecessary. We wouldn't get use value out of those items, despite having the feelings within us stirred up that we need a collection like this from seeing it time and time again. The other area where this is particularly insidious is the idea that we have to achieve or produce something constantly. And productivity social media is a pretty big category as well. There are, in fact, I should probably have a productivity book up here for this discussion, but alas, I don't have any up here, so we're going to go with this one. This is Stephen King's On Writing, which might be a form of productivity book in itself. So, productivity and the feeling that we have to strive to be doing something, to be creating value all the time, can then turn into ourselves using our own abilities, our own bodies, our own brains and capacity to think, and our own features of human nature as a means to an end. We can't be content in just our existence, our value as a human, our innate value. When a human is born, they have value as a human. They don't have to do anything to earn that value. But we can get this idea lost and warped after consuming so much of the online content in this landscape of achievement and productivity and value, that we can start thinking that we need these things to have value, or to be valuable, or to deserve a certain level of income or support or popularity or anything, fill in the blank, right? Things that humans can be conditioned to seek out more of and kind of crave as forms of validation as being a part of any society, whether online or not. It's hard to say that being popular, at least to a reasonable level, is going to be a bad and undesirable thing, right? Everybody wants to feel heard and seen. Everybody wants to feel that they have value or that they have the ability to create value. But when we feel like we have to, or that's the goal, or that if we're not doing that, something is deficient or missing in us, then it starts to transform into this mentality where we view ourselves as a way to achieve these things, hence treating ourselves as a means to an end, and not as someone or something with inherent value. And I think this relates to me and my shopping problem in the past, because if I was able to treat myself as an end in myself, I don't think I would have fallen into so many traps of consumerism as I did. And I suspect this could be true for others out there, even if framing it like this isn't necessarily the most universal way to think of it. Are you treating yourself as a means to an end? Can you see yourself as an end in yourself? You don't need to do anything to reach that next level of value. You have value as you are. And it's kind of a complicated idea to think that you could increase your value by doing certain things. In fact, I would almost like to say that humans can't necessarily increase their innate value of being a human by doing anything. And I think that's part of the point, right? All of the environments around us, and especially marketing and capitalist society, I guess, is trying to make us feel like we can increase our value as a human by doing things, by buying things, by being part of these groups, by contributing in this way. But we cannot. This is not an idea of substance. This is an idea that's been created. It's an ideology, dare I say. I've been trying to learn more about that as well, but again, it's one of those things that's a fairly new framework of thinking for me, so I'm not totally comfortable trying to break that down in this video. But the point is, it's not real. It's not an absolute truth. So if we can reframe our concept of human value to be inherent, to think of that just born baby, and the fact that not only can they not do anything, they lack the ability to provide value in a way. All they can do is try to survive and exist. And I mean, they're also very cute and maybe provide value that way, but they have no ability to provide creative value, I suppose, in themselves, but they have inherent value as a human. And likewise, just because we grow up and gain the ability to do things, we can walk, we can talk, we can think, we can play music and make things and draw pictures and create art and write copy for ads and influence and build buildings and climb mountains and everything humans can do. The fact that we can or cannot do those things does not give us more or less value. And if we can view ourselves like that, as an end in ourselves, then perhaps we can be immune to the rules that online society especially, and consumer society in general, tries to tell us are fact, or the way to live. And here we go, I literally Kant Even, version 3.0. Let's not treat ourselves as means to an end. The even more complicated part of this is I'm filming this before I've even published versions 1 or 2. So it's possible that the comments in those first 2 versions of this series are going to inform how I would think about this if I were to read them before filming. But alas, such is my schedule. All right, I'm gonna wrap this one up here, keeping it short and sweet. Again, I highly recommend you check out the video that inspired me. It's gonna be on my list of videos that inspired me for this year as well, if you want to look at that later, to get a more complete picture, maybe a more educated picture, not somebody just rambling, having encountered this idea fairly recently and relating it to their own shopping experience. But I hope my rambling and relating it to shopping was helpful for you. And if it was, you can let me know in the comments below. I guess you can leave a like on the video. That also tells me you liked it in a practical sense. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for getting to this point. Thank you for being on this journey with me. Thank you for being a fellow traveler. Let's all treat ourselves as an end in ourselves, and treat others as an end as well, and not let ourselves be treated as a means to an end. We can protect all of our right to humanity and to respect. All right, bye for now, and I'll see you in the next one.